everyone, this is Steph here with thegoodride.com. We're here checking out the Never Summer Lady Freeride in a 147. This board is an aggressive all-mountain freeride board. It comes with a very stiff flex, the triple camber from Never Summer, and a directional tapered shape. So it comes with Never Summer's triple camber profile, which I'm going to show you a side cut view of this, but there's a camber zone under the front foot, and then it goes down to rocker, slight camber zone in the middle, down to rocker, camber zone under the back foot. It has also a very locked in feel, because I feel like when I'm riding it, the contact points are like out here when the camber zones are pressured. Pretty fun, aggressive camber profile that you can push and put a lot of energy and a lot of aggressive riding into it, and it will handle it. So it comes with a stiff flex. It's an 8 out of 10 flex. I can barely bend it, but it is stiff. So for the base, it comes with a Durasurf XT sintered 5501 base. These Durasurf bases are specifically for Never Summer, that Never Summer uses for their high-end boards. So I got this in the spring last year at the end of the season, and I also rode it this year in very midwinter conditions that you see behind me. I rode it up in Mammoth in the spring, and then now in the winter, and then I also rode it up in Tahoe this winter on some pretty fresh days. So we'll start with the steeps. The Lady Freeride excels in steeps terrain. It is for an aggressive expert rider. It is not for an intermediate or someone who is still a little bit like nervous about turning in the steeps. But if you're super comfortable up there, this board performs really great. It turns quickly as long as you tell it when to turn. But if you're a little bit timid, it'll take extra effort to get it to turn. One of those boards that like, it's going to ride you if you don't ride it kind of thing. When you get on this board, it's time to turn it on and just start ripping. But yeah, it has a really nice edge hold. It doesn't have any side cut disruption, but that triple camber, in any icy or kind of scrapey snow, I felt totally confident. It has a really nice connection to the snow. It kind of has that similar personality with edge hold to a true positive camber board, you know? So yeah, felt really good in the steeps. It doesn't create any chatter. It's very stable and reliable. Likes a little bit more of that medium radius turn, I'd say. It's not a small radius turning board. It wants to kind of have a little bit of speed behind it, and it can definitely handle it. So it should be inspiring enough to open it up a bit and rip down some steeps in a more aggressive speed. So bringing this board off piste, again, it takes a little bit extra effort to turn. So if you are an advanced expert rider, it's gonna feel great. It's super reliable, it's very technical, it has a great edge hold. If you are, again, a little bit more of a medium speed rider or slow rider, still kind of getting the feet under you and getting used to off-piste riding. It's not a super fast turning board in those kind of situations. So as long as you are telling the board what to do, it's super fun off piste. But yeah, if you're a little bit timid, it's going to take that extra effort. That being said, like, I liked it off piste as long as the snow was kind of medium pack to hard pack. When the snow is like this, I didn't much enjoy it. The positive camber zones under the nose, and especially like since the contact's out here, really kind of far on the nose and the tail, it felt grabby sometimes and a little bit like hooky. And so if I was off just a little bit, I would lose the edge, or it would kind of grab a bit. So it's the type of board that you want to be on point on, especially in softer snow, but it absolutely has the capability to rip some moguls and rip off piste. And in chunder, it can turn a bit, but it is really damp. And so I definitely feel like this board can just kind of like take a straight line over the chunder to get to the next good stash, you know? Then, since we're talking about soft snow, we'll talk about powder. The Lady Freeride has freeride in its name, and in my mind, that tells me that it can ride powder. And I did get this on a pretty decent powder day, and maybe it was like, you know, a little out of the realm of the Lady Freeride powder realm. In the Sierra Cement heavier kind of powder that we get out here, I didn't enjoy it too much. I liked it as long as the terrain was steep. And so again, you know, it's an aggressive board. So if it was steep, it was fine. And as soon as it started mellowing out like flat, and let's say you're riding in a single track, it started to kind of like grab at the edges. And for entertainment purposes, I will put my fall reel. You can see my amazing crashes on this board. And just for context, like I ride all the time. I ride powder. I don't usually fall in the powder unless I'm trying something new or like pushing my limits. And this board took me out 3 times in one day in the same situation. If you're seeing really light snow, you know, it is tapered and it is directional and you can set it back a bit. It's probably going to be fine. If you're seeing heavier snow or deeper snow, I would suggest trading it out for like the Harpoon or a different type of powder specific board. The Freeride can handle a little bit of powder, but if it gets too deep, it really does kind of perform like a traditional positive camber board. For me, it did at least. And so I would suggest like, you know, having that powder board in case it does dump. But then we'll bring this down to Groomers. The Freeride can rip some Groomers. Super, super fun at high speeds. Very stable, very damp. It makes like a medium radius turn, but I felt like when I was carving it, it was a little bit of a longer radius turn when I was carving, because I feel like in the medium radius, I can kind of twist it a little bit and the board's edge contact is a little bit less. But when you engage the entire side cut of this board, with the contact points being so far out, I felt like the carves turned into more of a large radius. Really, really stable. You lay it over, it'll kind of help you do the work. Yeah, so you can make some high-speed carves and lay some trenches over and it will hold. There's no chatter, there's no like bump and absorbing as you're doing it. It does really well at carving and I had a ton of fun carving this board. On Groomers, you want to rip some high-speed laps. The Freeride is very fun for that. But again, it is a advanced expert board, so if you're not on your game, from time to time it sneaks in there and gives you a little like extra grab off the tail or something. So just got to be on your game. For its freestyle personality, it's not a freestyle specific board, but it has an amazing amount of energy and pop in this board if you can bend it. I found ollies to be quite difficult for myself. I'm a pretty light rider, but you know, if I had an extra 20 pounds on me, I probably would have a ton of fun ollieing this board off of natural features or off of like, you know, rollers or something like that. On a bigger jump or something, it would be a ton of fun. That if you're on like a piece of terrain that creates the bend in the board for you, that's how I would get this board to bend. But the energy that comes out of it if you do bend it is tremendous. So, you know, definitely a lot of fun as far as like energy and popping and jumps go. Not a freestyle specific board, so not very versatile for like rails or jibs or something like that, but definitely like some natural features. You want to hit a rock drop, you want to hit a side hit or some wind lip or something. It's pretty fun for that. It is directional, set back and tapered, but you know, you can ride switch on it too. Again, there's less tail than nose and I do feel it a little bit, so feels like you're riding a little bit backwards, but not too much. But definitely you can ride switch on Groomers, can pop some 180s or some spins or something, and it'll handle just fine. So overall, who is the Lady Freeride for? If you are an advanced expert rider who likes to ride at a faster speed, who wants a technical ride that is stiff, that is damp, that can carve and can rip some steeps, the Lady Freeride would be good for all of that. So as I look at the Never Summer Lady Freeride in a 147, if you're looking for the full write-up and review on this board, head over to thegoodride.com to check it out.